I
Hi and welcome to Mark's motivational podcast for another Authors Tuesday. I'm delighted to have another author on the podcast today, all the way from Florida. Rhonda Reuther, I hope I pronounced that correctly. This
you
is
did.
this is brilliant because we have a podcast from all over the world, people, authors from all over the world, which is great. So, Rhonda, thanks a million for coming on the podcast today. It's been great to meet you.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, great stuff. So we'll probably start off the podcast, if you wouldn't mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and the books you've written, please, would be great.
Well, I'm actually originally from Pennsylvania, traveled a little bit. I'm a mom and I'm also a grandma. My passion had always been writing. I've been in the military. I was a nurse. And I took that leap of faith a handful of years ago to become a writer. And in the last 10 years or so, I've published 41 books of all different genres. And I'm also a ghostwriter. So I write for other people as well. So, and it's a dream, and the dream has come true.
Brilliant, congratulations, because that's something else. 41 books about different topics. That's. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like what different topics have you written about?
I have children's books, poetry, drama, romance, even erotic. Um, there's not very many genres that I don't write.
Great stuff. Great stuff. That's brilliant. Yeah. So, have you always been a writer yourself? Where did the journey start for yourself, Rhonda?
Um, I think I've always had that deep passion for writing, but
Yeah.
life kind of gets in the way. You grow up and you do things that keep you going. You have a family and different things, and
Yeah.
my love of writing probably started right after high school. And I wrote, didn't publish, but I kept it myself. I've got totes full of different writings and things like that. Journals and daily motivations and things that I write down. And then I took that leap of faith and I published my very first book in 2012 through a publisher. And then I regained those rights back and I started self-publishing in 2014. And since then, the dream has just continued, and it still continues to this day. A lot of my motivation though now comes from my kids and my grandkids. I have two-year-old grandchildren, and they are the light of my life right now. So they motivate me a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a lot of people behind the scenes. My parents. My old high school teacher from 11th grade English. She's a motivation. There's a lot of people that behind the scenes. I might get the credit for being the author and writing the words and stuff, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, that's great because I agree with you 100%, 100%, Rhonda, because children, they give you great ideas, don't they? Like with your writing. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They keep you busy. They give you new ideas. Just everyday thoughts. Personal experiences, or I like to people watch.
Yeah.
Go out and people watch, and you can a story pops in your head, and you just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's really good. And where can people get your books as well, Rhonda? Where can people buy them? Are they on Amazon or where?
Yes, they're all available on Amazon. Yes. Most of them are paperback as well as ebook, but they are all on ebook as well.
Great stuff. And are they in the shops as well for people that are listening? Can they get them in shops in Florida and different places?
No, not right now. No.
Okay.
I'm actually very new to Florida.
Okay.
Just a few years here, so I haven't had the opportunity to get out to the local stores and promote the books and things. But I do have a website, and I have an author page on Facebook that they can get a hold of me on through there.
Yeah, and you can share all your links, and I can put them in the show notes for people to get your books as well, Rhonda.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. And I suppose what's your favorite type of books as well, and kind of inspire you most?
I would honestly have to say poetry is one of my favorites. I didn't start out publishing poetry, but poetry has been one of my favorites, along with children's, or
Yeah.
the YA, the youth adult. Having children myself and now grandchildren, the different experiences that I've had as a parent, and they have
Mm.
had as children growing up.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, I'd be the same, like eating Brighton and all them them stories growing up as well.
Right.
There's some great, yeah,
Right.
brilliant. That's great, yeah. And I suppose you kind of answered this already, but do you have a certain kind of strategy for your writing as well? Like, do you do a certain amount of words a day, or what way do you approach it yourself, Rhonda?
I really don't have a strategy itself. I'm an early riser, so I
Okay.
write first thing in the morning, and then I write, and throughout the day. I don't have a set time or set wordage that I need to meet. It's when the characters speak to me.
Mm.
If a character's not speaking to me, then I really don't have much to write. Now I do write in a journal every day, but story wise or book wise, poem wise, if the characters aren't talking, then I'm not writing them.
Oh wow,
So,
yeah. Yeah, because yeah, that's really interesting. You mentioned that because different people have had on the podcast would say that as well. They become part of you, really, the characters as you write them. You kind of
right.
can imagine what they're doing. They have their own personality, really, can't they? Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
they write their story. The story themselves is just through me. It's
yeah,
the character story. If they're not talking, then there's nothing to
yeah.
write.
Great stuff, yeah. That's brilliant, Rhonda. And I suppose as well, because it's a motivational podcast, I suppose you kind of said already, your grandchildren, your children motivate you. So would they, what else kind of keeps you motivated? If just say, for instance, sometimes you might have like writer's block or kind of hit a metaphorical wall. How do you have, yeah, have you ever experienced that, and how would you deal with that?
Um, I think I've only had writer's block really one time,
Okay.
and it was probably right after I published my first book, through the publishing company, because you get that huge hype of I'm a
Mm.
published author. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
And everything just went blank. It was just like
Mm.
you don't have anything else to write.
Mm.
But digging deep and thinking back, you want this. This is what you want. I was taught as a kid, if you want something, go for it. My mom and dad
Mm.
just instilled that. Don't sit there and let it come to you. You go for it. So
Mm.
that's what I did. I started writing, and I think the writer's block lasted maybe a month or two, and then
Mm.
it has not stopped.
Great stuff.
So,
Yeah, that's great motivational words that your parents gave you as well to keep going. So that's really, really brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, that's
yeah.
great. Mm. And how did you find over the last 2 years with the pandemic in your writing as well? Do you find that was a bit of a barrier for your writing, or how did you handle that, Rhonda?
It really didn't affect my writing too much. I stayed on the same schedule of getting up early. I
Mm.
did end up with COVID for quite a few months, so I was down
Okay.
with that. But
Yeah.
other than that, my writing schedule really, it didn't really phase it all that much. I'm at home person anyway,
Yeah.
so being stuck at home was a piece of cake. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it really didn't phase me that much.
That's good. Sure, you got 41 books done, so that speaks for itself. That's
Right.
great.
And I'm
And
actually in the process of writing three more right now, the
wow,
three different genres. So
that's great. And do you have a personal favorite you like to write about? What would you do?
um, out of the 41, I believe my favorite would be Like Mother, Like Daughter. It's a drama filled family suspense. It deals with adoption, sickness, just family turmoil, and the trials and the tribulations that a family would go through. It does include the LGBTQ community into it.
Yeah.
But just in today's society, everything that you have to go through as a family growing up is
Mm.
in this book, and it puts a test on mothers and daughters, and
Yeah.
I believe it's my favorite. Yes.
Brilliant. That's really good. Thanks a lot for sharing that, Rhonda. And you
Oh,
said
thank you.
you like poetry as well. Would you
Yes.
mind for the listeners, maybe if you have a poem to hand, would you like to read it? It's up to you. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything like that, but if you're happy to do
I
that,
would, but I don't have any. I
no
don't have
problem.
any memorized. I've written 6 poetry books that have roughly 30 poems in each book, but I don't have any in front of
No
me.
problem.
I wish I did, but I don't.
Yeah. And I'm sorry about that. No, that's
Oh,
fine.
no, that's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And are you involved in any writers groups yourself? Like, because I got involved one through COVID, where, you meet up once a week and you work off a prompt. Have you ever done anything like that yourself?
No, and I'm not in any specific writers group, locally or anything. I am part of some on Facebook,
Yeah.
but I am part of a podcast for writers and readers alike,
Okay.
which started just a few months ago, which
Brilliant.
inspires authors who are not bestsellers to encourage others to read their book, so
Wow.
the book can become a bestseller. So.
That's great. That's great, Rhonda. And would you mind maybe sharing the podcast with me as well, please? Because that's something I'd be interested in as well.
For sure. It's called the Unsung Authors Podcast.
Oh, great. Great stuff. That's brilliant. Yeah, yeah, I'll put that in the notes for everybody that's listening. They can check that out as well. That's really good. Thanks for that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
listen, I really appreciate you coming on to speak to me today. I know the time zones are a bit all over the place, but it's been great
yeah, that's
talking to you,
okay.
and I wish you all the success as well in all you do with your writing. It sounds brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Sounds awesome.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be here today. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay, so once again, thanks everyone for tuning in to today's podcast, Mark's motivational podcast, Authors Tuesday episode with Rhonda. So I don't want to mess up your surname again. Your full name again is
Reuther, Rhonda Reuther.
Reuther. Yeah, perfect. So thanks again, Rhonda, and I wish you all the best. Thanks everyone for listening. Take care. Good night.
Thank you so much.